Hello, everybody. This is Catholic Dad. I wanted to give a lecture on being formidable. That everybody should be formidable, and I'm not saying formidable as in you go out and you beat people up. That's being a bully. It's being unnecessarily aggressive. Formidable is something, if you think about it, is that you're actually able to defend yourself, and so that's why I kind of like lifting weights. I like making my kids lift weights because when you can move heavy weight, you can do some damage. And so, and I've also talked about the habituation of exercise. Being able to move heavy objects, do hard labor, that actually makes you formidable to the world because you're able to sit there and say no to people when they ask you to do things you don't want to do. And so part of my exercise routine, not that I need to get too personal about this, is I do the speed rope in my garage. I have an 80-pound heavy bag that I just kind of pound on it for a couple minutes, kick it, punch it, whatever else. Lift some heavy weights, and I run up and down the street a couple times, and then I rinse and repeat. You know, you do that for 30 minutes. That's a heck of a little workout. Well, anyway, so hitting the heavy bag, that's a good thing to do. And a lot of people don't really know how to throw a punch. But I'll tell you what, if I mean, I'll tell you personally. I threw a couple punches when I was a little kid. We got in some little skerfuffles, but that's about it. I've never really been in a major brawl. But I can tell you what, I hit the heavy bag because one day, if I were to ever be in a major brawl, which I don't anticipate, and I don't think I should ever be in a major brawl, but there are times in your life that you may actually have to be. And I think most good, virtuous, genuine people probably need to do physical combat exactly 0 times in their life. But there may be a time in your life where you have to step up. You're at the store, and then somebody's, I don't know, starts beating up a woman in front of you or something like that. And then now, game on. You actually have to step up and do the right thing. You have to be chivalrous. You have to be a man, and you have to do battle. And hitting a heavy bag, I think that's really that's a genuinely good exercise. A, get your heart going, builds your muscles. But actually throwing a punch, if you don't hit a heavy bag and you don't throw punches, I see it all the time in my field of medicine. People breaking their hands, hurting their wrist, elbows, so on and so forth. If you don't know how to smack something hard continuously, then if you ever need to, you're going to hurt yourself, and you're going to hurt yourself badly. And so, wrap your hands really good. Get yourself some heavy bag gloves. Everlast is a good brand if you ever need it. Get yourself a heavy bag and start working out, becoming formidable. Now, what is formidable? Do I want you, when you become formidable, or would I suggest that you actually exercise the formidability? No, never. You keep that in your back pocket. And that's something called meekness. It's actually a virtue called meekness. A lot of people think meekness sounds like weakness. It does sound like weakness, but it's not. It's actually quite the opposite. And in the Beatitudes it says, "Blessed are the meek; they shall inherit the earth." Why would weak people inherit the earth? That makes no sense. Meekness is essentially a virtue of tempering the ability to do great damage. Like somebody who's meek is like, think about like the knights in the times of yore. These people that dedicated their lives to protecting the weak. That they went out, they're in armor, they've got swords, they're able to kick some serious butt if they needed to. But they didn't because their presence and their ability to restrain themselves and work their way uh, through sticky situations without actually doing battle, that is the virtue of meekness. That you have a sword, your sword is in its sheath, but you keep it there and you don't use it. You get through it by your presence and by your physical strength and by your prowess and your ability to engage people, your negotiating ability, your diplomacy. So go out and be meek. Meekness is very good. And being meek, to be meek, you have to be formidable. Now, why is that? Well, there's predators in the world, and there's people that prey upon others in numerous different ways. And and my father used to tell me, he was NYPD, he used to say, criminals are opportunists. Well, the same thing is about predators. They're always looking for an opportunity. They're looking for people who are weak, people not able to defend themselves. And so if you are formidable, you have the capacity to say no to people that are preying upon you, opportunists, and so on and so forth. And deep down, we have these lower appetites as humans that are very close to the animal kingdom. And nobody who's a predator, nobody who's an opportunist respects somebody who's not willing to do physical combat with them. And I'm not saying respects you as a human being and whatever else. Like, those people will prey upon you and do what they can and what they think they can get away with. And some people push pretty darn far. So if you're train yourself in the capacity to be formidable, the capacity to do physical combat if you need to, you will be able to keep the predators at bay. Because my father used to say, criminals are opportunists, but they also don't want to get caught. So if you stand up, you put your shoulders back, and you act like you know what you're doing with your fists, they're going to walk away, or you're going to have to beat them. But nonetheless, and again, I said virtuous people usually can get out of most situations. Usually when you put your shoulders back and you tell a bully, a predator, a criminal, or whatever else, you say, not today, buddy, because I got this. That's enough. So be formidable, be dangerous, but be meek. Be a very virtuous, humble person, and hopefully that gets you through life. And well, anyway, so this is Catholic Dad signing off. Lift some weights, hit the heavy bag, pray the rosary daily. What else? Go to Mass. You name it. Catholic Dad signing off. Thank you.